and welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, um, got some drives that came in today, about 20 of them. So basically what I'm doing right now is that I'm going to be putting them into my one storage unit. And this way I can get rid of the SMR drives that are in the machine. The SMR is shingled magnetic recording as opposed to CMR, which is conventional, or its original form is perpendicular magnetic recording or conventional magnetic recording. As long as it says PMR or CMR, your drives are good, especially for a NAT. Now, if you don't care about your data on it, yeah, you can use CM or SMR drives. But if you care about your data and everything, CMR drives are the better way to go. And I ordered 20 of these. I need actually 50, but unfortunately, yeah, long story on that, which I'll get to here in a moment. But I've got the Seagate Exos drives. I know it's backwards because I'm shooting on my phone and I'm using the, selfie side of it. So basically, I'm going to go through and put these in. I'm going to put 12 in for the moment. I could probably fit almost all of them in there, but I'm not going to, just because of the fact that until I get the rest of what I need, I'm only going to do 12 for the video and everything that's stored on these 410s from Western Digital. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to stop this or pause it, and then when I'm done putting them in the sleds and everything, I'll bring it back, show you all the drives and everything, okay? All right, and as you can see, I have 12 of the 20 drives installed, the bottom 3 rows there, and I've already set them up in a TrueNAS storage volume, and I just have to create the pool. Well, I already created the pool. I need to create the volume and then the data set, and then add it to my file server, and then basically I'm going to be transferring the data that's on this top row right here down to this here, and anything else, and then I'm probably going to fire up the other one and restore the files from it onto here. Hopefully, hopefully I can get more of these drives at some point so that I can finish filling this up, fill up these 3 rows here, and then these 6 rows here. All right, so today, the rest of my drives came in. Right here is a box of 6. The other box of 20 is still sitting upstairs. And the nice thing about it is the warranties actually go to 2028. And the best part is I checked the warranties on Seagate. Now, I know that some person commented on this on Newegg that, he had to talk to somebody. I talked to somebody. I also have a support number, because it's probably going to be entered into their system, that the warranty on the original set, which are in here, and I'm working on getting those 4, the very row underneath the ones that are open there, having the data erased so I can reuse them, which is done. They said that as long as you have the receipt and it's sold by, it's not like one of these third-party type things, which is what I avoided, because I actually bought a couple of SAS drives for this from a third party, and I punched the serial number in and it came up with that, and I bought them through Newegg, through a third-party seller. Also, now the lucky thing is I had one go out, and I still don't know why that one light on the right on the third drive is out it only blinked whenever it was reslivering. I don't understand why that's not working. So, but anyways, when I talked to the person at Seagate, I got a like whatever case number or something like that, so it'll be in their system. That as long as it's sold by shipped and sold by Newegg, okay, the warranties will be covered. Because when I did punch one of them in, because on the box of 20, which I have to check the other box too to see if those serial numbers are on the side, there was actually a sticker with all the 20 serial numbers on the one side of the box, which is great because, you know, I don't have to do this. I could just punch in all the serial numbers and boom, it's done. But here's the 6 right here. And I've got 2 more coming in. Those are going to be the spares, so that if one of these goes bad while I send it out to Seagate to get a replacement, you know, I can throw a drive in, it can start reslivering, you know, rebuilding the array to bring it back up. And I set the array to Z2 so I could have 2 disks fail without losing all data. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these last 4 in since they're done. And then I'll come back and show you all the lights and everything. All right. So as you can see now, all these drives are lit. Okay. The bottom 3 rows are already in a RAID Z2 configuration. I moved all the data that was in the row, the 3rd row down from the top, because it had the 4 10 terabyte drives in it. I moved all that data over to this, and then I added another set of 4 or 12 8 terabyte drives. Now, because I'm doing it as a iSCSI connection, I get roughly out of 80 available terabytes, because each set is 12 with 2 for redundancy. Out of the 80 terabytes, I get roughly about 50 terabytes, but that's like 30 terabytes more than what just the 4 drives in a Z1. So, depends on how much storage you're looking for. I mean, you could definitely get, and I have a case, I have it put away right at the moment, of the Super Micros that has 3 rows of these. And, you know, depending upon the size drives you could get. Now, I actually got these drives on sale. I paid for all this with my own money because I'm not supported by anybody in any way. No, you know, nobody so far has subscribed to my Subscribestar, and I don't have manufacturers throwing me stuff and all that stuff. The only time I have anything is whenever I do anything for Amcrest, and usually it's a code to either get half my money or get all my money back. And their last camera that I got an email about, an AI camera, it's like, no, I don't want to deal with anything AI. But that's a whole other subject. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent there. But so basically now what I have to do is I have to turn this one on, get this set up. I have 4 terabytes. There's 4 in this row above the 2 that are open, and a 5th one there. And then I have 4 10 terabytes in the 2nd row. And in this top row here, I have 4 8 terabytes. So I'm going to have a lot of spare drives. And the good news is that those spare drives I'm actually going to be using for testing different things, because the 4 8 terabytes are Seagate's, and the warranties are definitely expired on these. Yeah, these are their archive drives. So they're SMR drives and not CMR drives. SMR is shingled magnetic recording. CMR is conventional. It could also be called perpendicular, which basically, instead of, like, if you've ever seen roof tiles put on shingled magnetic recording, which the name implies, is you put one layer down and then it covers up part of that layer with the next layer and so on and so forth, kind of like how you put shingles on a house, so that when the water, the top row is exposed to the elements altogether and the water just rolls down and it doesn't roll underneath or anything like that. Well, that's fine if you're going to archive stuff. Like if I was going to use these as an archiving drive where I don't need to rewrite, like, good example would be if you had an Apple computer and you plugged in an external that had a SMR drive, whether it's the Seagate Archive or, any other one that uses the shingled magnetic recording, it'll say, do you want to back up your stuff? And you go, yes, and it'll back up however you have it set. And then say the next time you do it, you just want to do an incremental, anything that you've changed or done. These type of drives, the shingled magnetic, is perfect for that because it's not changing. So it does, because basically for it to change a piece of data, it has to remove all the layers above that layer that it needs to work on. It needs to move it, and then it can work on that layer, and then it moves everything back and lays it back over top. So that's why in a RAID setup like this, whether you use a hardware RAID card or you use TrueNAS's software ZFS RAID, okay, it takes longer to rebuild. And if you have one drive that fails, you're probably going to have another one fail. And unless you have enough redundancy that if you have a second drive fail and it's set up in a Z2 or a Z3, you won't lose your data while it's reslivering the drive you put in. And I would also recommend not reslivering a second drive while you're still trying to do the first drive. I haven't tried that, and I don't know how well it will work. So don't quote me on that. But that's the update on this. Then once I get all this data moved from here down to these two storages, then I'm going to remove all these drives, replace them with the other drives. I have 2 drives coming in. Probably set it in maybe a couple of the segments. I might edit it out. Who knows? Then I'll have at least a backup. So if one of these decides to go bad, okay, I can put a new drive in. They're CMR, conventional. It'll be much faster reslivering to get it done. And that way it's less likely another drive will fail and cause me all kinds of problems, because I also have it set in that RAID Z2 configuration. Considering how old some of these drives are, like I had 5 terabyte drives. They are now over in that box there with the keyboard. The keyboard's not going to go with it, but those are all the bum drives that just totally went bad. Especially the SAS drives, which were in here, which were 6 terabytes that I was using in here. And yeah, it just totally sucked that they went bad. And the seller just ignored me. So I pretty much got what I paid for. That's why, like I said, buy stuff that says shipped and sold by Newegg. You'll probably pay a little more money, but at least you'll have a warranty on it. Like I said, I know I bought these 4 here for this machine on Amazon, and I know there's a possibility that those are not going to come with any kind of... I mean, I did get that third one replaced, and I don't know why that is, and it could be something with the controller, or God only knows. We'll see if it goes bad again. If it goes bad again, I'm probably going to have to get a new 8-bay unit, because I don't think I could move that over to one of the empties to see if that would work, because I think it goes by location that you plug in. I could be wrong. I'm not, well versed on how the Dell stuff works. And it's really weird. I like Dell servers, but I really love the Lenovo ThinkPad, especially their workstation series. I prefer those well over HP. HP's okay. I had an HP. I have an HP for my new work job now. They're okay. I prefer Lenovo to no end. Soon I'm going to be setting up the 710 so that I can do demos and stuff. I'm probably going to add, because all these drives, well, not the top two, these two here were used that came with it. And the two in the top were used. They're actually in a cabinet door that I have. And I'm thinking about putting those in. I want to take out the SATA drive that's in this. I believe it's here. Let's see. Yeah, I have a SATA drive here, 320 gigs. I got a few other SATA like 2.5-inch drives that I don't know if I'll put in here. It just depends on what I want to do with it. Haven't really decided, but I like the fact that I now have platinum power supplies in that one and in the 420. I bought golds for this a while ago to reduce the wattage that it used. It went from 100 watts, or no, 200 and some odd watts down to 100 and some odd watts. So I lost about 100 watts of usage, which is fine. You know, I mean, the hardware didn't change. I still have to pull the fiber card out of here because it's not going to use that. It's just going to use the standard gigabit ports for anything that I do. And I can use that fiber card somewhere else. This one was nice when I bought it because it actually had fiber in it. But anyways, I'm sorry I'm getting distracted. But yeah, so the next step is moving the data from here to here, setting this up with all the drives, and then I want to set up like where it automatically mirrors everything over to this, and maybe some snapshotting too. It depends on how much space it uses. Because if I can just do just the mirroring, and like once it's fully mirrored over, if all it needs to do is just incremental type stuff, I'll set it for that. So, but that's pretty much the last step for this video. The next video will probably be once this is all switched, because I have a feeling this is going to take a couple of days for this to sync everything over and switch it. But I want to play around with Proxmox backup server, and I have a small little couple of little ship boards that I bought a while ago that I'm going to put in this case to test. I'll probably get better hardware maybe over time if I'm going to use it as a full-time backup, as opposed to the built-in backup capabilities within Proxmox, especially if it has something that will work better. But I'll definitely put it in here. Yeah, you can tell I'm an AMD fanboy. I would love to have an Epic server. That would be totally awesome. But unfortunately, I don't have that kind of money. So, but yep, that's all for now. Like I said, there'll probably be another follow-up video to this, because this one's going to be hitting this coming Friday. When you see it on Friday. And then, like I said, the other one will probably follow up in about 2 weeks, maybe with some other stuff. So we'll see. All right. Talk to you later.